So today is about our Burning Bowl service. And if you're new to Unity or you're new to, Unity, this is a ceremony that we do every year at the end of the year. Typically it's done New Year's Eve, and we're not going to have very many people here New Year's Eve. We got people traveling, and so we decided to enjoy it by doing it today. So here's kind of how it will go. We will, in a few minutes, we will take that piece of paper that you have been given. Does everybody have a white piece of paper, a little white piece of paper? Okay. If you don't, raise your hand and we'll get one to you. And a pen if you don't have one. And we're going to write down everything you'd like to let go of from this year, from your life, and not take it into our new year. So if you do you not, we have someone who doesn't have over here. Do you have? You do? Okay, do you have pens? Okay, good, all right. Yes. And so it'll be a meditative type service. And then after we come and put our things that we would like to let go of in the burning bowl, we will then do another piece of that meditation about what we'd like to take into the new year. So that's kind of how it'll go this morning. And as you know, we're all human. We all have things we would like to let go of. Sometimes it's friendships, sometimes it's health issues, sometimes it's they're just things that don't serve us anymore. Sometimes it's unforgiveness. We have not been able to forgive. But there's a reason that we let go of things. It's physiological, it's emotional, it's spiritual. Someone wise once said that the body weeps the tears that the eyes fail to shed. And it's true. The pains and the ills in our bodies are connected to our unconscious grievances. And in many instances, connected to the unforgiveness that we hold on to. Sometimes, we have things that we just don't humanly think we should ever let go of as far as forgiving others. Yet science shows us that our emotions always interact with our bodies, and in relatively predictable ways. For many, many years, we've known the body follows the mind. Do you understand? Everything happens twice in your life. First in your mind, and then in your manifestation. We have no idea how powerful our mind truly is. Once we learn it, we have to stand guard. In Unity we say we have to stand guard at the portal of our mind, because our mind is so powerful, and we have to learn how to harness that power, how to use that power to our benefit and to our well-being, and not to our destruction. It means we have to pay attention to all the thoughts that we are thinking, and making sure that those thoughts are positive thoughts and not negative thoughts. Because the mind will follow those thoughts. We know that negativity destroys our bodies, our minds, and our spirit. We've learned over time through science that we have to address our physical pain with more than pills and more than physical therapy. We have to address the psychological and the emotional pain as well. Years ago, when I was still in Houston, the Methodist Hospital was the first hospital that we were aware of that opened a clinic that the heart doctors sent straight from Methodist Hospital over to this clinic. It was a spa. They taught you how to meditate. They gave you meditation tapes. They told you how to take care of your body through your own inner reflection. And that was in the 70s and 80s. So we've been knowing this for a long time. But old habits are hard to break, aren't they? We stay pretty unconscious of what our thoughts are. And many of our thoughts come from our ego. Our ego is a tricky thing. It wants to hold on to our old hurts, our old painful experiences, and we do it because we believe it's actually protecting us from further hurt. Our ego holds on tight to our grievances, and especially the hurtful things that are in our mind that we truly believe we cannot let go of. That's the ego saying, hang on to it, it'll protect you, it'll remind you. Not true, not a good idea. Someone else wise once said, there is no future without forgiveness. Let that one just kind of rest with you for a minute. There's no future in your life without forgiveness. So what does that mean? It means that if we are holding on to the negative energy of unforgiveness, we don't live our life full out. We don't live it to the best and the most joyous that we can. And over time, we just move into this place of existing. We shut down, we grow numb, we live half a life. Because we've allowed that negative energy to be in us, shutting us down, keeping us in fear, keeping us reminded of the hurtful events that have been generated in our lives. Life is not going to be joyous 100% of the time. Things will happen. Things that we had nothing to do with sometime and have no control over, but they happen. And as you know, you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can certainly control how you deal with it. Sometimes we think we have no choice. Have you ever thought, I don't have a choice in this matter? We do. We always have a choice. And we also have a right to be happy. We also have a right not to suffer. And, you know, from our early, many of us, from our early religious training, we think we have to suffer. We think we're victims. We're told from a young age in many different ways, we're not worthy. None of that is the truth. And we carry it around with us like this huge bag of bricks, and we think that when things happen to us, we're being punished. Actually been told in a lot of cases, this happened to you to punish you. That's not true. Our Creator is not a punishing creator. Our Creator is a creator of love. All the rest of that stuff is what we thought up. You know, if the human mind doesn't know the truth, it makes it up. Have you ever noticed that? You ever notice when somebody doesn't know the details of an event, they'll make it up? Sounds reasonable to them. We have to let go. We have to learn to forgive. Even the most egregious things, we have to learn to forgive. Because forgiveness is not about the other person. Never about the other person. You're not keeping them on the hook. You're not keeping them at bay. because you haven't forgiven them. You're keeping yourself in a negative place. Illness, unhappiness, depression. Forgiveness is about you. It's about you taking back your life and not letting other people walk through your mind and keep you upset. Listen to the wisdom of a little girl, only 6 years old. She was asked, "What is forgiveness?" She thought for a moment and then she said this, "I think forgiveness is when someone has hurt you and your heart tells your mind, let it go." Isn't that cool? Out of the mouths of babes. One of our iconic ministers in the New Thought movement, Michael Beckwith, some of you probably heard his sermons and have his CDs. He said, all of life improvement is about letting go of something. We have to let go of something to create a void by letting go of what no longer serves us. We can't make room for anything new until you make a space for it. And you do that by letting go of something that no longer serves you. This ritual that we do today, this celebration of a new year, includes that tradition of letting go. And this tradition of letting go is practiced all over the world and has been for thousands of years. Way before we had a Gregorian calendar, humans practiced letting go by paying attention to the shortest day of the year, which is called the winter solstice. And that was the day that they let go because they knew after that day the days would begin to get longer. And for them, this was the newness of their next year. From Scandinavian Norsemen, we gained the tradition of Yule. That's what Yule was, Y-U-L-E, for the Scandinavians. It was the tradition of letting go. Egyptians celebrated the return of the Ra, the god of the sun, and ancient Greeks held a festival called Linnea. The Roman Empire held Saturnalia celebrations. The Druids celebrated at Stonehenge, and similar festivities took place at other ancient sites, such as the pyramids in Peru. So what we do today is just a continuation of thousands of years of knowing, perhaps very instinctively, that as human beings, we have to pick a time to let go and not take it with us another day. So that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to do the burning bowl ceremony to release anything that's negative that we wish to leave behind and not take with us into the new year. Not allow to hurt us physically, emotionally, or spiritually. So it doesn't matter whether 2019 was a year that you loved or a year that you're more than ready to say goodbye to. How many of us are more than ready to say goodbye to 2019? It doesn't matter where you are. This is the beginning of a new year, a powerful year, and guess what? A powerful new decade. 2020 enters us into a new decade. That even makes a bigger difference to me. I don't know why, but it seems, it's like we got this whole next 10 years to have do-overs. The first burning bowl I ever went to was at the New Year's service in Houston at the Unity Church there. And that was a very moving ceremony for me because at that time in my life I had a whole lot I wanted to let go of. was a real turning point in my life. And I didn't know how to release it. And so that burning bowl ceremony was very, very important for me. So, and I hope it's true for you today, that you will reflectively allow this ceremony allow you to let go of anything that no longer serves you from 2019 or from any other time in your life that you've been holding on, even further back than this year. And allows you to invite in what will be great new possibilities for 2020. So how we will do this, as I mentioned already, we will do a meditation. And does everybody have a piece of paper? I think Beverly took care of everybody. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, raise your hand, because this is the point at which we will begin to be thinking about what you would like to release and what you would like to let go of, and writing it down and just bidding it farewell. So as we prepare for that, let's do I am free, I am unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what page is that, my dear?
322.
Page 322, I am free, I am unlimited. Here's how it's going to go, so that there's order. Yeah, it's we're not known for a lot of order, but we're going to try to make us some of that today, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the back row. And you will come out over on this side and come down, light your paper, and this is after we get our paper filled up with everything we'll let go of, and then go back down the center aisle to your chair. Is that easy enough? Perfect. And then it'll be the next to the back row, and then the next one after that, until we all are seated back where we belong. And so what I think I'll do is have this side go first when we're ready, and then we'll have this side go. Does that work for everyone?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we could probably turn down some of our lights. What do you think?
Yes.
We can. So let's begin. The back row, if you'll come right on up. And If you go out that side, it'll be easier coming back in. There you Well, I don't know about you, but I learned one thing. You're gonna have fans here next year. Open the doors and bring a lot of fans. I did put the fan on there, but apparently that didn't work too well. So do you feel lighter?
Yes.
Does everybody have a piece of paper now that takes you into the new year? There's an affirmation at the top of it.
Yes.
You can, if there's something that comes to your mind right now that's just burning, go ahead and write it down, or take it home with you and write on it. You know, nature abhors a void. Once a void is made, it will fill up. So what you want is you want it to fill up with something positive. So that's why we have given you this piece of paper so that you can, you just created a void in your life. You just got rid of old things and habits and ideas and emotions that no longer serve you. So that's a void that has been created. So take home your piece of paper and don't just put it away. Actually write some things on it that you would like to accomplish for the new year. It doesn't matter whether it's a goal or whether it's a feeling or whether it's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time that you really would like to reconnect with. Whatever it is, create something new and positive to fill that void that we just turned to ashes here a few minutes ago. So to go ahead and do that, let's do another meditation. And so you've got your homework cut out for you for the next week. Take that piece of paper, fill it out as you think of new and exciting things you'd like to accomplish, and leave it out so you see it every day. Don't go home and stick it in a book or a new magazine and forget about it. Let it prompt you into this new year.